So today we're here with Jodi Campbell, a fitness instructor in the Tampa Bay community, and we're going to talk a little bit about our connections in the community and what's important and how we're getting involved with different organizations and charities and how we're trying to work together to support each other and give opportunities for people to support us as well as we're trying to go through this journey in the Tampa area. So Jodi, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Jodi Campbell. I am a fitness instructor in the Tampa Bay area. I work at Solid Core, Barry's, and Lifetime. 2 or 3 really incredible gyms, just gyms that really support people's lifestyles, but also help to push them. And I'm just grateful that these companies have trusted me to be an instructor there, but also the people who show up on a day-to-day basis to trust me to lead them into whether it's an hour workout, 45-minute workout, and the teams that I get to support and be a part of is really incredible.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about how this all evolved and how you got involved not only in the fitness industry, but specifically connected with, why these gyms or what that has done for you as you're working through your journey and your career.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me has always been if you are good to people, people will be good to you. And if you love on people, they will always continue to love on you. And I think that has been the light of how my journey has really progressed in this industry. I started out a few years ago, 3 years ago actually. Back in 2018, I moved to Tampa, started working as an IT recruiter. And as I started working as an IT recruiter, it was okay, well, this is my day-to-day. Right. And then one of my coworkers was going to Cycle Bar taking classes, and so I tried it out. And at the time, I just wanted to take classes, see what it felt like. And the first instructor that I went into her class, her name was Celine Green. Well, it's Green now. And she just was so loving. She was welcoming me in. She was just so caring. And she was in my face. She was pushing me. And there was just a light that clicked on. And I was I want to do that. I want to give people that feeling. If I can give them that feeling, I'm good. I have made it. And so I talked to her about it a little bit. I talked to a few other people about becoming an instructor. And I auditioned 4 times to become an instructor. The first 3 times it was just feedback about things that I could do better, my lung capacity. I was 3 seconds behind the beat, a little ahead of the beat, just things that really and I was no, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, give me another chance, give me another opportunity. And that last time is when I got it. But those no's pushed me to run more. They pushed me to cycle more. They pushed me to have more conversations, to really do the things I needed to. I just kept asking, what do I need to do? And so I became an instructor at Cycle Bar. And then shortly, about a year and a half later, transitioned over to Barry's. I took a break and then transitioned over to Barry's. They reached out to me twice. And the last time is when I did my audition. And I kind of went in and was okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm expecting a no because I've already gotten enough no's in my life. And so I got that no from them, or I got that yes from them. And then it was another yes to come back. And I was wait, what? And I remember reading the email and running upstairs into my apartment. My sister was sleeping. She had fell asleep on the couch that night. And I ran upstairs and almost broke my neck, tripping over the table. And I was Christian, you would never guess what happened.
That's great.
And so I became an instructor at Barry's. That happened. I went through all the things. And so that's, Cycle Bar was the first thing. Then Barry's came. I'm still at Barry's. And then this kind of goes into, how other people and how small the city is. Someone talked about Solid Core needing instructors. And so I reached out to the individual, and I was hey, I heard you guys need instructors. I would love to even have a conversation. And I did my audition and got another email saying yes. And it was I've gotten so many no's leading up to this point that these yeses are so much sweeter. And then for Lifetime, which is the final one, someone reached out to me, and she was hey, do you teach Pilates? And I was I don't teach Pilates right now, but I can be a Pilates instructor. And I just, my thing was I wanted to learn my craft and I wanted to extend and just get better at what I was doing. And so she connected me with the right people, and she trusted me enough to even give my name to someone else, which for me is a big deal because you trust that I'm going to be a good representation of you, because that's how I look at it. Is if I give your name to someone else, it's because I trust that when you have a conversation with them, like they're going to say, hey, this is a good representation of Jodi. And so I don't take it lightly for granted the people who have, gone into rooms and spoken on my behalf, even when I wasn't even in the room. And I did my audition at Lifetime. Very similar situation. I remember I wore a bright green, and I was like, I did my whole audition. I was, we had to also do other people's class as well. And so I did that, and they were like, we're very impressed. Like, we couldn't keep our eyes off you. And I'm for me, it's like there's a Jodi standard, and then there's a regular standard, and no matter what, I'm going to keep the Jodi standard. Or surpass that if I need to. And I think it's a matter of just continuing to level up. So I know it's a long way to get there, but every gym and every place has a story. But the biggest thing has been each person I've been in contact with, it's always led me to the next step, just because I didn't see people for just one thing. It was like I wanted to have a connection with them. I wanted to build with them because there's something in you that's so much stronger and so much bigger. And just seeing big picture, really.
And that's great, and I can really relate a little bit with my business is doing caterings and things, and people ask me, what are your capabilities with it? And say, we just booked our first wedding, and they're like, have you ever done a wedding? No, but I can do a wedding, and I'll figure it out kind of thing, and I'll make sure that it's perfect and making sure that you're driven. So a lot of it comes down to discipline and being able to take some risks and some opportunities, and like you said, it snowballs from there, and that part of it. And going back a little bit about, specifically about the gyms and the environment, it's some of the culture or the environment of the gyms that you're in. A lot of people are disciplined to just go to the gym and work out and be self-driven, and they're on their own. But there's a lot of people, even like myself, that like to go to a group setting, and being able to find that it does something magical when you're walking in there and you're around a group of people that are familiar, but also just being in that group setting. Can you speak a little bit on that, and what you feel that some of the studios that you work at that offers that kind of opportunity for people that maybe be looking for more of a group setting to be able to be motivated and to get themselves fit or even live a healthier lifestyle?
I think one of the things that all three gyms share is community. Like, they're very big on community, and they don't just have it as one of the things on their wall or one of the things in their handbook. Like, all three gyms genuinely make an effort to welcome people in. When they walk in the front door at all three of them, they're like, hey, Anthony, how's it going? Oh my gosh, how was your weekend? Did you get a chance to go out with the kids? Did you get to go to the park? And they're invested. When people come to Solid Course, very similar situation. We want people to feel loved. Because you have an option to, I was kind of talking about this earlier, it's like, you have an option to go to any gym. There's hundreds of them in Tampa Bay.
There is a lot.
But people come where they feel loved. They come where they feel appreciated, where they feel seen. And if you feel seen, you're going to keep coming back. You may take breaks. That's okay. You're human. But, you're going to come back because the people who were there, they loved on you. And all three of those gyms, they share that, where all the people feel loved. Our goal is to make sure that when you're in class, we may call you out, but we're calling you out because we know that there's something bigger in you and something better in you.
Yeah, and I think I shared with you once before, I was at Kotowari. I started going to Kotowari, and it has the same environment, same culture, same feel. They embrace you. They want you to succeed. And we were sitting in the room before we were walking into the sauna, and there was like 15 people, and it was like ironic that everybody was talking about how they went to Kotowari, but then they also were going to Barry's because they had shared that same feel and were able to attend two different places that gave them that same energy, that same openness, being themselves, and being, I don't want to use this, they feel like they want to be accepted, but some of us do, Acceptance is a big part of us being courageous to go out and experiment new things and be able to feel like we're a part of something. And so it is pretty cool to actually witness that and what you're talking about and seeing that come together. So that's great. Thank you for sharing. And so anyone that's trying to find the gym, what would you recommend as far as where should some of their journey start, especially if they're beginning or just starting and they're a busy professional that always, like for me, it's like time is like one of the biggest things that's for me to plan it. What do you recommend for them, and how should they start?
I think one of the biggest things with anyone starting out is try a gym out. Whether you're trying Barry's, whether you're trying Lifetime, Solid Core, every place has their own feel. And I think the biggest part of it is take that first class, see what it's like. You know, don't shy away from something because of what you've heard. It's very easy not to take a class because you've heard it's really hard. Well, yeah, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. This isn't like, this is not, you know, the Teletubbies. We're here to work. We're here to like put the effort in. Because it's, again, looking at that big picture, it's bigger than me. Because my workout is an hour long or my workout's 50 minutes long, but the tenacity that I build in the room, I take it outside of the walls. And when someone comes in, they try me during the day, I've already built a level of tenacity at 6 a.m. this morning that at 12 o'clock, I've already been awake. I've already battled this reformer. We're good. So I think the biggest thing is like not necessarily a specific gym, but more so just starting. Like,
that's great.
Show up to the gym, try the first class out, and if you are like on the fence, hey, I'm gonna try 2 more. I always tell people, give me 3 classes. Like, try 3, see what it feels like.
That's great advice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So I want to continue a little bit about the community thing, and I know you and I have connected a few times away from the gym environment, or even that we've collaborated or been invited to some of the out of the gym environment to support each other in the community. Can we talk a little bit about that and what some of the things you're doing and why involve, you know, other folks within the community, and what are some of your goals with that?
Yeah, so I think obviously community inside and outside of the gym is like big for me, but not really a but oh my gosh. I think it's more so the factor of knowing, for me, like Jodi's story is that like Jesus in fitness saved me. And like, I wholeheartedly believe that. Like, the times that I was at my lowest points, I was able to strengthen my relationship with Christ and not just become a stronger woman, but become a stronger faith-based woman, where I really learned, like, God, you are everything. And so when I say like, Jesus saved me, like, yes, that is a big part of it. And fitness was that driving force behind it that said, okay, yes, Jesus saved you, but like you also build the tenacity here. And so with the two combined, I think that's why like my reach is so much greater, because like we're called to be the hands and feet of Christ. It's like when I show up to a class and when I'm teaching people and when I'm pushing them, it's because like Jesus pushes us, and so like, and he calls us to be better and to be stronger. And so me pushing you and me adding extra, like it's because I know what you're capable of. I know what you have in you. And so from a community aspect of it, it's more so taking that step out and saying, how can we support the people in our community who maybe aren't in the gyms all the time, who maybe can't afford to be in the gyms all the time, or maybe in some of the spaces we get to show up in. And so for some of the events that we've done, I know that you've supported us in our Moms Giving event. We've done Moms Giving where we bring a ton of moms in and we just love on them, like during Thanksgiving time. My friend Marla and I, Brianna, we worked together just to create an event that allows moms to feel loved, especially during Thanksgiving time. That's the time, and really the holidays, when they are doing the most. They're preparing dinners for their families, they're buying the presents, and like, no, moms and dads are working really, really hard. And so it's time for us to love on moms and allow them to feel like they are a big deal, because they are, and dad. And so the two coming together, I think you've supported us in that. And then also Pilates pop-up that I did, and just getting people to move their bodies. We collabed with Pinellas Run Club, and just their community, and really bringing the two together to make people feel like, okay, yes, we can run, but we can also gain a lot of that mobility from Pilates. And I think it's an awesome opportunity, just again, to love on people in a smaller environment, outside of the 4 walls of whatever gym it may be.
Right. And is there any particular one experience that you've had through some of these events that even helped inspire you even more and to continue to give and to be a part in uniting the community? Because I get asked that all the time. It's just like, why do you do these events, or why do you host things, or why are you involved with so many different groups? And I'm trying to explain it to folks that may not take that leap or or want to, or not driven that way, or I don't, it's really hard to explain it to them, and being able to say, well, this is how I'm rewarded. Like, people ask me all the time, why do you coach soccer, and why do you take a break throughout your day? Like, I'm doing that today at 2 o'clock, and for me, it's like this group of girls inspire me. They are, you know, they're caring, they're funny, they're energetic, and they just give me sometimes that break that I need, and to be able to disconnect from everything that you're thinking. And you know, some people are just not work their way that way, but for me, it is very much self-fulfilling as well. So how does that resonate with you, or what are some of your experiences with that?
In the sense of just stretching different directions, I think for me it's a big deal to do that, because again, fitness is 1 hour of your day.
Yeah.
I may teach 6 classes a day, but I don't see those same people for the 6 hour, 6 different classes. And so I think it's bigger than that. I think it's, you know, you think about the restaurants that are part of our community, you think about the business leaders who are a part of it, and really connecting with them and learning about their business, learning how we can support them, and really create a bigger picture, for me is a big deal, because you see from that bird's eye view is that Tampa's a really an incredible city, Tampa Bay in general. And the way that we can support each business and show up in each business is a direct reflection of just how strong the community is. So I think for me, one of the biggest events that I think for me I was a part of was Momsgiving last year, because my mom attended, and I was able to talk about just fitness and, you know, my experience and some of my best practices and discipline. And as a daughter, you want to make your parents proud. And as I was talking after the conversation, she was like, I never realized that one of the examples I gave was that I always make my bed every morning. That's the one thing I'll always do, because when I come back home, whether I've had a good day or a bad day, at least I'm coming home to a made bed. And she's the reason behind that. And so it was really cool just to hear that turned back around, and that she was in the room, because that's just a blessing within itself. But 2, that she was able to see the fruits of her labor and know that all the work that I've put into my kids, I'm seeing it now. I'm actually able to watch my kids talk about the things I've taught them. And I think for me, it's a small moment, but it's a huge moment.
It sure is.
Because that, for me, that's a really big deal, to make her proud, but then also to know that she's able to be there to see that.
What a special moment. That's so great. And for me to witness it from being there and seeing all the faces of these moms and the folks that were there, and just feeling appreciated, and the look that they had on their face, and it was like they were glowing, and it was just pretty cool that they just felt appreciated, and there was something that was put together just for them. And I think that's just great work. So, well, for me, I've said this, and I've people, you know, who you surround yourself with, and I think that's where your success, or where you're going to put more of your time and your energy and your thought into it. And so for me and you, to have this relationship, and for us to work together in the community, and to have this friendship means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. And so let's keep going and see what we can do, because like you said, we are, from my opinion, in one of the best cities to be an example to the rest about how working together, regardless if it's fitness or business or just hobbies, I think it's a great community to come together and show how Tampa is united. So I appreciate it. So thanks for being here with me today.
Yes,
I really
of course.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and for even trusting me to have these conversations. It's a big deal.
Yeah, so great. Thank you.